Domain 1, disconnection and rejection. This relates to the violation of basic needs, such as nurturing, safety, stability, empathy, sharing, which is caring, sharing feelings, acceptance and respect. How many of us didn't feel respected when we were young? It makes you feel unstable, makes you think sometimes there's something wrong with you. It doesn't make you think, it triggers you to think that. Early family environment, which is detached. So withholding emotions. Some parents don't give affection as a means of punishment or to demonstrate their frustration or malice or instigating of arguments. Rejecting, lots of I'm not talking to you, neglect, violence, physical abuse. Some of us were raised in families where physical abuse was normal. For some people it's considered normal, but if it triggers emotional disturbance, it might be normal in that family, but is normal healthy? That's the question. So violence, explosive, unpredictable or abusive. So you may have those families where anything could happen at any time, where you just don't know and you've got to be on your guard, and you're like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen now? Is mum going to be upset with dad? Is I going to be upset? Oh my god, is it a sibling? Is it a cousin? Is it an auntie? What's happening? So these environments, they lead to disconnection and rejection. So stay tuned and I will be telling you about abandonment and instability. Schemas. Schemas are mental health patterns, or basically unmet core needs, which we take within ourselves based on our interpretation and interaction with our childhood carers. So family, any form of upbringing that we've had, any significant community-based influence, there would be 18 early maladaptive schemas. You are not ever one of these, there's sometimes quite a few, and it's based on the environment in the background. So the first domain, domain 1, is about disconnection and rejection. As human beings, we often feel disconnected and rejected. And this is like a common theme for a lot of us. So being rejected is not the same experience for everyone. It's normally unique, which is why the schema has its own story. So it's broken down into one of these 18, and you might be 3, 6, 7, 8 of them, 10 of them, 12 of them, however many, but your story will be unique. So I'm going to begin and explain abandonment and instability. Abandonment and instability. Expectation that we will lose somebody close to us, and that this person we have an emotional attachment to, that they're going to go. We're going to be left. We're going to be alone. We're going to be unstable. Often this scheme is about when we were young, our needs not being met, and having to find our own way of fulfilling those needs, and we normally come up with a story in our head. So if you saw the other video where I explained about watching children who are watching their parents on the phone and being ignored, abandonment and instability that is what that would cover, okay? And that is just one example, and like I said in that video, that is not saying that any parent on the phone is ignoring their child and their child is going to have this as an issue. That's just an example, because it's like many of these small things that happen that we interpret. Often it's the small things, it's not necessarily the big things. The small things are the things that stick with us. Schema comes caregivers who are often quite volatile and angry, and the child doesn't know what's going on. Mum's shouting at dad, dad's shouting at mum, mum's storming off, dad's just left, oh my gosh, what do I do? Oh, I got to cook my own dinner today. Okay, nobody cares about me. So that's the schema kind of thing of the abandonment, instability. It's, or they've lost a parent at an early time in their life, and there isn't anybody there for them, and they feel abandoned, and that creates the instability. Erratic parenting as well can create this. So you see sometimes in divorce courts where the parent's quite volatile and their child's being pushed to pillar and post, going in between, it's normally just creating the schema for that child to grow up into adulthood with a concern that anybody that they really love or care for is possibly going to leave them, or there's going to be some form of conflict, and that creates an unsteady ground, and that's abandonment and instability. Thank you for watching. Next video will be on mistrust, so stay tuned, and if you haven't already, subscribe.